Hello snakes, my name is Dante, and today I'll be showing you how to join and play Riftbound tournaments online on TCG Arena .fr. So, for example, if you want to join a tournament, just make sure to, join from your local tournament organizer, or just, search for online. For example, you got Discord where they have their own, Discord server, and you could just join in if you want. But other than that, just figure out where you live. For example, where I live, we have a Riftbound UAE community, which they host tournaments both in person and online. And yesterday I played an online tournament, and it was really cool. So, so yeah, also please don't get yourself scammed if you are joining an unknown tournament organizer. Make sure to do your own research beforehand. But that's basically, the quick briefing for tournaments. And yeah, just make sure to, make sure check your player ID. My player ID is just this one, but hey, I I don't know how to change it. But yeah, that's basically it. But what that's but now I'll show you how you play this, because this is not actually like other digital card games. Like, this is almost entirely manual. So for example, so you want to go into your decks, for example, and if you want to create a deck for Riftbound, you got three different formats. You got the standard Spirit Forged, Preview, which uses Unleashed cards, and a multiplayer Spirit Forged. So for example, let me just uh and let's just make a deck, name it like and subscribe, because that's what you should be doing. And well, if you want to add in some cards, you can just add these, or you can just import and just copy paste the deck you need to add. You can do. Some cards, I don't know why they don't work. Maybe just maybe just try like this, but it's strange. Yeah, I mean, just make sure to use it correctly. But well, that's basically a quick briefing on making the deck. Now I'll be showing you how you can play a match. So right now I will be. So this is your ID. If you wanna host your own matches, send this ID. But if you wanna join someone else's match, you will need to basically copy someone else's ID and put it in. All right, guys. Now that you've gotten the ID, you just have to paste it in and you press connect. So you have to basically, and then you connect into a game. So what you have to do, for example, if you're the host, will, for example, just will have to start the game, and yeah, you need to start a new game, and you just play preview format unleashed with a random starting player. Yep. So you have to select. Um, you can select. This is not legal because I don't have the card in it, but I'll just be picking the Master Yi. So you see, you have your deck list. Make sure to just check them correctly, because sometimes they don't have um, good resolution. So yeah, just so yeah, and of course, you got the other player who's playing Victor. So you see, you can look here, you can and see which champion your opponent's using, which legend your opponent's using, and you got your own champion over here. So yeah, basically, now you have to deal with the battlefields. So for battlefields, you have so you have the three battlefields over there, and when you want to select a battlefield, you will have to basically add the ones you're not gonna use. So you you basically cross them out, and basically that's that. I mean, once, I mean, if you, and then once that's done, you will have to right click, and you do reveal, which will reveal the your battlefield, and then opponent will do the same thing, of course. Now once that's done with, all you have to do is click mulligan, and that will draw you your starting hand. So you have 4 cards in hand. Now there's a there's quite there's a thing. You can recycle up to 2 cards and manually draw that many, which means you have to. So if you want to mulligan a card, for example, you will have to send this to the bottom and then draw 1 card manually. Now, that is basically the fundamentals for beginning the game. So the opponent is going first, which means they will have to manually um, put down 2 rune cards and draw a card. So channel 2 runes, and they will do their thing. They would so the opponent will be putting in a token. So yep, that's basically, that's how the opponent decides to start, and I'll show you guys how this exactly works. So the token goes into the stack basically, and then it gets dragged to base, and the opponent passes. Now you're going second. You see that it automatically drew you 1 card and only channeled 2 runes. You will have to channel the 3rd rune manually, because the only thing it's programmed to do is channel 2 runes and draw 1 card each turn. So what you want to do is you will want to play, for example, you got to play a unit. You play this to your base, and you have to tap the runes manually. And once you're done, you would need to press spacebar, passing the turn. So the opponent channels 2 runes and draws a card. Once again, now that they have a recruit, they will move it to one of the 2 battlefields, which will cause it to, well, basically score them a point. They'll have to do this manually. And so, yeah. Now, they decide to play a card, and yeah, they decide to play Victor to the base. Now they will tap their runes and then recycle a rune, and then they pass. Now you have your thing. So you have gem band. So you want to move that gem band hunter. So if you want to go into combat, you do this, and basically, well, you gotta check with your opponent. Communication is key here, because if the opponent does not have any spell cards or tricks up their sleeve, then they will communicate you in some form. You're in a voice chat, or if there's no voice chat, then yeah, they will give you a thumbs up, and that means that their unit is dead, and you have successfully taken over the battlefield. By taking over the battlefield, you will have to manually put 1 point. And this card has Hunt. So by conquering, you basically get a unit. So you have to search and put the XP tracker and put it into your base. Make sure to track the XP as you go. Now, you want to, for example, play a unit with Accelerate. Nyla. You play her you play her wherever you want to play. Play her. Throw. So you tap the runes you need. Channel. So you throw this to the. And then you manually untap her. And then you can move her to this battlefield. Once that's done, you put the point here. So that's basically the fundamentals for this. Now, once you're done, pass the turn. Now let me show you how you counter a spell in this game. So the opponent will want to use a card called uh, Wages of Pain. They will play they'll play this and target this unit over here. This is Wages of Pain. Now you would need to press, if you want to counter the spell, you have to use Defy. You place it into the pile, you tap, send it to the bottom, and then basically, if it gets countered, the opponent will have to, make the manual agreement, and that's it. You throw this to the graveyard, and the opponent will throw their spell back to their graveyard. Exactly that. And well, they will obviously, have do their thing, whatever. Oh, also remember, remember every point you make, every XP you get, whatever. So that's basically a big fundamental here. So don't forget it. And yeah, that's basically another fundamental. Let's say you wanna hide a card face down. So what you wanna do is, well, first of all, you gotta basically put the card face down. You put it face down, and the opponent cannot see it. So yeah, and obviously send this rune there, and basically you will have to pass the turn, obviously, when you do that. So when the opponent is playing their turn, and they will have to, and they want to attack, for example, let's say Victor wants to attack over here. Now, what you do is you will have to review the card and then target. If the opponent is fine with this, then they will have to, they will thumbs up, and this dies, and they draw 2. And if, for example, you were to use Hidden Blade on your own unit, let's say you target this, you do this, and then you throw this to the discard, throw this to the discard, and then draw 2 cards. There. That's basically the most simplest way to explain this. And yeah, that is how you resolve a hidden spell, a hidden card. So yeah. Now the opponent will have to play their. So the opponent will play Ash, for example, which will cause you to review your hand. So once that happens, communicate with your opponent to review your hand, and then have them get 1 card out. So review all your hand, which is these cards. So the opponent will have to declare, will tell you in the chat which card they want to get rid of, and it will get banished. So let's say they say Yi. They want you to get rid of Master Yi. So what you do is you remove it, and that's basically it. Now, of course, you have to, if you hold it, you put it back into your hand. So the opponent decides to pass the turn. Alright, yeah. So, you are holding. You will need to score 1 point. So, you score a point manually. Now, some battlefields, they'll have a the trigger, you have to do it manually. Everything is done manually. If you were to hold here, you have to put you have to create the token, which is the buff. And well, basically, you will need to do different stuff. So what you do, so let's say you want to play concentrate, for example. You play this into the stack. So by playing this into the stack, you have to tap all this, and you draw 2. Oh, also, you will see that I accidentally revealed cards to the opponent. Now, you will need to basically hide all the cards, so the opponent can no longer see them. Yeah, don't make that mistake. Remember that. And, just if you want to gank, just gank, and you get a point, you get an XP, and now you will pass the turn. Now the opponent would like to, for example, move Ash over there, scoring a point. And well, that's basically now, yeah, that's basically the simple thing. And if they were to give, you have to give the unit temporary. So this would target, Ash and make it temporary. You will have to basically, go there and press this has to, you can press, you basically select this and you put temporary, for example. That's a thing you can do. But basically the opponent will be doing this for your own. So you cannot put temporary on your own thing, but it will. But then basically, as a demonstration for what temporary does, you will just have to, pass, and then you would theoretically you'd have to remove it. It would not disappear on its own. Just make sure to remove it. So that's basically about. It's basically simple, but also yeah, they should have drawn 2. So don't forget. And you would need to, and if you wanted to cast, for example, Alpha Strike, a spell to kill one of the opponent's units, what you do is you select, you target for Alpha Strike, you go and select this one, and then you select this one for Alpha Strike, and then you deal 4 damage. Once that's done, the opponent will, if there's no trick, they will give it a thumbs up and approve this. So, or they could always they could always play something fast. Like they would use an action to kill the unit. So for example, they go imperial. Oh no, reaction has to be. An action would not work in this situation. So yeah, they'll send this unit back. Also, by holding, you get your own card back. So what you have to do is go to your discard, and actually you have to select show the removed cards, and you put Master Yi back into your hand. That was removed from the game by Ash. Now let's see, for example, you would like to bring in the Baron Ashore, for example. You have to press optional play areas, enable, and it will enable the pit. The only issue is that when you do this, the opponent will not have access to it. So communicate with your opponent, and then they would have to do the same. And also vice versa. If the opponent opens Baron Ashore, you will have to put the Baron Pit, and then for example you create a token, and you search for Baron Pit. You do this, and you select it as this battlefield. Boom. That is basically how the how the Baron Pit works in this sense. And well, yeah. Also, to determine who goes first, ideally you should be rolling a dice. So you roll d20, you roll a 4, for example, and the opponent rolls a 15, which means the opponent will go first. Also, there's other dice. You can even go odds evens, but communicate with your opponent beforehand because that is basically the key for this. And if you basically, for example, you win, all you gotta do is just start a new game. You know, you end the current game, start a new game, you restart with the same decks, and you can change, you can swap cards with your sideboard. So you can take out Blood Rose, you put in Valmaw, for example, and you just continue. I mean, it's simple. Communicate with your opponent during the game, after the game. Communicate with the judge if there's any questions regarding rulings, because this game literally has almost no coding to it. So, yeah. Other than that, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you win enjoying a tournament with what I've told you. But other than that, just enjoy. I mean, I may be hosting tournaments. I may be joining more tournaments like this. But that's basically how the fundamentals to playing and joining a tournament. Bye.
Like and subscribe to Dante the Snake.